If I asked any of you to name a signer of the Declaration of Independence, most of us would probably say Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, or Benjamin Franklin. Those names deserve to be remembered, but what about the men whose names rarely make it into our history books? Let's take a deep dive into one of the states that made our independence possible. So today we are going to look at the Connecticut signers of the Declaration of Independence. Out of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, 4 came from Connecticut: Samuel Huntington, Roger Sherman, William Williams, and Oliver Wolcott to attend the Continental Congress. They were ordinary men who answered extraordinary calls, and the impact that they had on America is far greater than most people realize. Samuel Huntington's story is especially inspiring because he didn't begin with many advantages. He was born in Windham, Connecticut in 1731, and he attended the local common schools and learned the trade of a cooper, which is someone that manufactures wooden containers bound by metal bindings. College wasn't an option for him, so he educated himself by borrowing books from the library of Reverend Ebenezer Devotion. Through determination and countless hours of study, he taught himself law. That same minister would later become his father-in-law when Huntington married Martha Devotion at the age of 29. In 1758, he was admitted to the legal bar and began practicing law in Norwich. Over the next several years, he earned the trust of the people around him, serving as executive counselor, a member of the Colonial Assembly, crown attorney, and eventually a justice and later chief justice of Connecticut's Superior Court. When the colonies moved toward independence, Huntington stepped onto the national stage. He served in the Continental Congress and signed the Declaration of Independence, and from 1779 to 1781, he became the president of Continental Congress. During his presidency, Congress issued 4 national prayer proclamations calling the country to prayer and thanksgiving, the most issued under any president of Continental Congress. After the Revolution, he served in the Confederation Congress before becoming Connecticut's lieutenant governor and then governor, serving until his death in 1796. Throughout his life, he remained an active member of the Congregational Church and regularly issued state proclamations for prayer as governor, showing that his faith influenced both his private life and his public service. Roger Sherman had an equally remarkable journey as Samuel Huntington. Born in Massachusetts in 1721, he attended public school and learned the trade of a shoemaker. After moving to Connecticut, he worked as a surveyor while teaching himself law. Like Huntington, he proved that determination can often accomplish what formal education cannot. Sherman served in the Connecticut Assembly, the State Senate, and on the Superior Court before becoming one of the most influential delegates in the Continental Congress. He served in both the First and Second Continental Congresses, helped draft the Declaration of Independence, signed it, and helped prepare the Articles of Confederation and signed those as well. But perhaps his greatest contribution came in 1787 at the Constitutional Convention. The delegates were deeply divided over how the state should be represented in Congress. Larger states wanted representation based on population, while smaller states wanted every state to have equal power. Roger Sherman proposed what became known as the Connecticut Compromise. His idea created the system we still have today: representation by population in the House of Representatives and equal representation in the Senate. Without that compromise, it's possible the Constitution would never have been adopted. Sherman also holds a distinction that no one else can claim. He is the only person to sign all 4 of America's most important founding documents: the Continental Association of 1774, the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, and the United States Constitution. Even with all those accomplishments, his faith remains central to his life. At the beginning of every session of Congress, he bought a Bible, read it daily, and then gave it to one of his children when he returned home. And he even wrote the doctrinal creed for his denomination in Connecticut. The legacy he left stands today as an encouragement to many people. William Williams may not be as well known today, but his life reflected the same commitment to service. Born in Lebanon, Connecticut in 1731, he entered Harvard at just 16 years old and graduated 4 years later. After studying theology under his father, he entered business while serving his community in countless ways. For more than 40 years, he served as town clerk of Lebanon. He spent decades in Connecticut's House of Representatives, serving as Speaker during the Revolutionary War, represented Connecticut in the Second Continental Congress, and signed the Declaration of Independence. He also served on Connecticut's Council of Safety as a county judge, judge of probate, assistant counselor, and later helped ratify the United States Constitution. What stands out most to me, though, is something that rarely gets mentioned. William Williams served as a church deacon for 43 years. Long after the excitement of the Revolution had passed, he continued serving both his church and his community with quiet faithfulness. Oliver Wolcott completes Connecticut's incredible group of signers. Born in Windsor, Connecticut in 1726, he graduated from Yale before serving as a captain during King George's War. After returning home, he studied medicine, but instead chose a life of public service, becoming sheriff, judge, and member of Connecticut's State Council. When the Revolution began, Wolcott performed two major tasks at once. He served in the Continental Congress, where he signed the Declaration of Independence, while also serving as a major general in Connecticut's militia. He commanded troops defending New York in 1776 and later led a brigade that helped defeat General Burgoyne during the Saratoga Campaign, one of the turning points of the Revolutionary War. After independence, he became Connecticut's lieutenant governor and later governor. Like the other Connecticut signers, he was a devoted Congregational Christian whose faith shaped the way he lived and served. When you look at these four men together, a pattern starts to emerge. They all answered the responsibilities that were placed before them. They became lawyers, judges, soldiers, governors, and statesmen because their country needed them. They weren't perfect, but they were faithful, hardworking, and committed to something bigger than themselves. That's why their stories still matter today. In a culture that often celebrates popularity, these men remind us that real influence isn't measured by how well you're remembered, it's measured by the lives you impact and the legacy you leave behind. Samuel Huntington, Roger Sherman, William Williams, and Oliver Wolcott may be forgotten by many Americans, but the nation they helped build still stands as a lasting testimony to their courage, character, and faithful service.